Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and this is a refreshing change of pace. We have the new SEC chair, that would be Paul Atkins, condemning the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit. You'll love to see it. And I'll show you exactly what he said, but it's obviously a very strong focus on turning the page, as they say, and focusing on providing actual guidance for the entire crypto space. What a novel idea. And so what we had for the last several years, in particular under the previous administration, was it was such a farce. Like, obviously there was not sufficient legal clarity, but former SEC Supreme Leader and dictator Kim Jong-Gensler, he would have you believe otherwise. It's just, what's that saying? Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. Oh, well, of course, everything's perfectly clear. Okay, well, if everything was so damn clear, Kim Jong-Gensler, how is it that now that there's a new administration, people are coming in and providing additional clarity if everything was already perfectly clear? That should be impossible if it's already perfectly clear. It's just like that scene from Super Troopers, where I'm paraphrasing, but it's just, you can't pull over further, officer, he's already pulled over. It's like that. It is just like that. And it is so refreshing to see this, and we knew we were right, and I was insistent upon this. As the years passed, I kept insisting, look, guys, there's no guaranteeing anything, but I think it is a virtual certainty that justice shall be done here, and we will be proved to have been on the right side of history, and that is the case. And it's just refreshing because, and of course I acknowledge, the SEC chair that brought this into existence, this dumbass lawsuit, it was Jay Clayton under the first Trump administration. And that was awful. Now, Trump did a 180 ultimately on crypto in a major way. It wasn't just lip service, like he really, really did. But yeah, you had that chairman, Jay Clayton. In fact, Jay Clayton, he literally voted to bring the lawsuit because there's 5 votes and the chair is one of them. And there's 4 commissioners, and then the 5th commissioner is also the chairman. So is Jay Clayton. He literally voted to bring the lawsuit. And then Kim Jong-Gensler, he was perfectly happy to proceed with that line of attack, even though he didn't vote on it. And so now we have an actual SEC chair who's like, nope, that didn't make any damn sense, all up in this bitch. You'll love to see it. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, to make sure everybody's perfectly caught up to speed here, be aware of the following, starting with this is the headline from Cointelegraph from 5 days ago, August 7th. SEC Ripple lawsuit to end after joint agreement to drop appeals. And I'm willing to bet that 99.9999999% of you are already aware of that, but just since there are a few people that are new trickling in, I want to make sure that you're aware that this saga that went on for about 4.5 years, it literally came to a 100% end 5 days ago. Big news, a big deal. It's an obvious sign of the times that things have changed in a very good way for anybody that's in crypto, frankly. And then there was also this. They took it a step further. So there was that. And then a couple days later, we get this. Look at this headline from Being Crypto. SEC issues waiver fulfilling key demands of XRP case. And this is, man, I love to see this. I love to see this. So think about what happened. So it is true, Ripple ended up having to pay about $125 million penalty for the institutional side of XRP transactions, not the programmatic stuff where it could have potentially mattered to us. Not there. But the institutional side, which was heavily litigated, let's say, and Judge Torres said, Ripple, you did it wrong there. Well, Judge Torres implemented an injunction preventing Ripple from engaging in certain types of institutional transactions effectively. That's what it would have done. And here you have the SEC under new leadership coming out and saying effectively, no, you guys are fine. You can just do it. That's what this waiver means. They filed a waiver. The SEC did not have to do this. They went out of their way to help Ripple. That's exactly what they did. And thus, all XRP holders. I don't need to read the article. That's it in a nutshell. That is literally, there's been a lot that's happened over the last several days, as you can see here. There's also this, I just want to briefly mention this. Here's a headline, Ripple SEC case takes new turn as appeals dropped without judge's signature. Okay, there's been a lot of discussion in the community of people asserting things that they can't know to be true, and they're literally wrong. There have been assertions from multiple people in the XRP community that this isn't actually over because Judge Torres has to sign off on the SEC and Ripple, who have stated and filed a document publicly declaring as much that they are no longer to engage with the appeals process. It's all over. And tons of people are saying, well, Judge Torres still has to sign off. Nope. Absolutely not. Every single actual lawyer that I've seen chime in on this, literally all of them have said, no, that's not true here. That's absolutely not true. Judge Torres doesn't have to sign in on anything. They are dropping their appeals. They did it together. That's the notice. There's no world in which Judge Torres can say, no, actually, you have to keep suing each other. So that's not a thing. Just to be clear, if you see anybody talking about that, just know that they are wrong. And then we had this SEC commissioner says Ripple lawsuit is finally laid to rest. And oh, yes, indeed, you love to see it. It stemmed from this post from Hester Peirce. Now, Hester Peirce is a commissioner since, as she cites here, January 2018. And Hester Peirce, it is publicly known that she voted against bringing the lawsuit against Ripple in the first place. And here's what she wrote. Last week, the SEC's case against Ripple was finally laid to rest. A welcome development for many reasons, including that minds once occupied with litigation now can concentrate on creating a clear regulatory framework for crypto. And you'll love to see that. And she shared this link to the SEC website. It's just the document indicating that the thing's over, appeal's done, all that. That's what's on your screen right here. Now, the cool thing is, Paul Atkins, the new SEC chair, he jumped in on social media platform X, which he certainly did not have to do, but I am glad that he did. And he wrote here in response to that, to Hester's post. He said, Commissioner Peirce is right. With this chapter closed, we now have an opportunity to shift our energy from the courtroom to the policy drafting table. Our focus should be on building a clear regulatory framework that fosters innovation while protecting investors. Hashtag Project Crypto. That is spot on. How refreshing is it to see that from the chairman of the SEC? It's just, what a world of difference 1 year can make. I mean, elections have consequences, my friends. And if you're in crypto, this is a great consequence. Like, this is a fantastic consequence that the whole world, the whole world, the United States certainly, is pro-crypto, the largest capital market on the entire damn planet. It's just dream come true type of stuff. It really is. I'm not overstating it. It actually is that. And you had Stuart Alderati, that's Ripple's top in-house lawyer, chief legal officer, respond to Atkins, and he said, "Thank you for your leadership in moving America towards clear rules of the road for crypto, Chair Atkins." And again, I gotta ask, if Kim Jong-Ginsler was right, and there was perfect clarity, what are they even doing here? What do you mean? Paul, what do you mean? You're shifting something that provided a regulatory framework, but everything was in place. There's nothing to do. So you must be wasting your time, Paul Atkins. That's what they would have had you believe under the previous administration. Thank God they're the hell out of here. Ain't nobody got time for that. So Project Crypto, once you put the hashtag in there, you may have heard about it. I haven't really had much of an opportunity to talk about it in any Moon Lambo hot jams. But here's when it debuted. That's how you say that, debut. This is at the end of July. SEC debuts Project Crypto to bring U.S. financial markets on chain. The Securities and Exchange Commission on Thursday debuted Project Crypto, an initiative to modernize securities rules and regulations to allow for crypto-based trading. To achieve President Trump's vision of making America the crypto capital of the world, the SEC must holistically consider the potential benefits and risks of moving our markets from an off-chain environment to an on-chain one, SEC Chair Paul Atkins said in remarks to an American Leadership in the Digital Finance Revolution conference Thursday afternoon, referring to blockchain technology that enables cryptocurrencies but has other applications as well. And so he's doing everything he can to provide the clarity which didn't exist, but Gary Gensler lied about and claimed did exist, even though it very obviously didn't. He's doing the work that Gary Gensler wouldn't, because the previous administration irrationally was anti-crypto because reasons. Because reasons, folks. It's always because reasons. And there you go. It's just so refreshing to see this. And so I will say again, we were right. We were 100% right about every freaking thing we said that mattered, in terms of being on the right side of the law and certainly being on the right side of history. We won. We made it. We were through hell and back. We went through more than any community in crypto ever had to go through. And we have persevered, folks. We are here. Like, it worked. And thank God the election, at least for crypto, I'm not saying anything, making a political statement and stating this because I just don't care what you think about politics, because that's not what this is here for. But thank God, for at least for crypto people, thank God the election went the way that it did, because none of this would be happening. Absolutely none of this stuff. These great developments, the stuff that makes it so that our net worths are way higher than they'd otherwise be, none of that would happen. But now it has. Hooray. Tell me what you think, folks. I am absolutely thrilled to see that this is concluded. It's so nice to see that there's an actual SEC chair that agrees that we were right. After all these years, we're so vindicated. An SEC chair is like, yep, he absolutely gets it. Yeah, we're shifting away from that. Yeah, you are. And he didn't have to opine on that, but he did, and I'm glad that he did. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.